Good afternoon. I want to welcome you all to Clark Material Handling for this real special day in this real special year for our company. If you've been to the airport this past week, or if you've driven down Vine Street this past week, you'll know there's something very special is going on here at Clark Material Handling. It's our centennial celebration, and we've got many, many events planned throughout the year to celebrate our 100th. But we focused our attention on one day, May 17th. And that's going to be the day that we're going to recognize the achievements over the last 100 years by Clark as a leader in the forklift industry. Beginning on Sunday, May the 12th, we have 425 people coming to Lexington from all over the world. They're going to come to celebrate this event. Beginning May the 12th, the downtown Hilton will be transformed to the Clark Hilton, as we'll have banners and posters and green all over. The guests through the hotel will see Clark being very honored. Next week, May 16th and 17th, Tuesday and Wednesday, we are taking over the Vine Street entrance to the food court, taking over the food court itself, taking over the thoroughbred room, the pre-function room, and the bluegrass ballroom, as we become the focal point of a centennial celebration for our community. There are people coming from all over the world to Lexington, coming to Kentucky, and it's the very important reason that we are celebrating our centennial. We've been here in Lexington since 1985, and today, just behind these walls, we now manufacture 6 models of forklift trucks. On this side of the wall is the North American headquarters of Clark. In Louisville, Kentucky, at Commerce Crossing, we have our huge distribution plant, of which we're very proud of. So there's nowhere else we'd rather be but here in Lexington, here in Kentucky, here in Louisville. So again, welcome to Clark. Glad you're here. And now I want to introduce our President and CEO, Dennis Lawrence.
Thank you, Alan. Wow! What an event. What an event. Well, welcome, Mayor Gray. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I love having you come out and visit us. And welcome also to Brian Feehan, who is the president of the Industrial Truck Association. You came in from where, Chicago? Washington. Oh, he's a big shot. Okay, he's from Washington. That's just the number. That's just the first one. Welcome, Commerce Lexington. The ladies are here from Commerce Lexington. Welcome to the folks of the press that came out to visit with us today. As Alan mentioned, it's a big month for us here at Clark as we celebrate 100 years in business, and we acknowledge us as an American brand that's driven around the world. Our founder, Eugene Clark, started the Clark Equipment Company back in 1917 in Buchanan, Michigan. A mechanical engineer, he was always focused on his attention with opportunities to increase workers' productivity and comfort. Beyond his desire to grow the company, Eugene never lost focus on his people. He provided them with housing and health benefits and fair wages at a time when it wasn't very popular in the early part of 1920s and 1930s. As owners changed, our business philosophy never changed. We remain built to last as we are today. Page 2. Wow! I got through a whole page. In 2006, Clark Lexington resumed our assembly plant of our electric trucks. In 2015, Clark continued its investment here in Lexington by relocating its manufacturing facility in Mexico back to the U.S. This move was an easy decision because of our talented workforce right here in central Kentucky, and the product built here, we can compete with it all around the world. In 2003, we were purchased by our parent company, Young-On, and we set a new standard for Clark going into the future. Young-On was established back in 1959 as a headwear company, and they distributed product throughout the world and now has business holdings in the forklifts, buses, hats, television network, car dealerships, and a philanthropy foundation. Today in Lexington, Clark Material is one of the strongest supporters of our local community. We support people like Susan G. Komen, Veterans Hospital, the Hope Center, the Nest, and many, many others, 58 in total in 2017. This year, we're going to be working on our Habitat for Humanity house, a real important project for Clark. We've been working with this organization for 5 or 6 years. And in 2017, we decided to build our own house, sole sponsorship for Clark. So we would bring our time and talent and monies to the Habitat house. And so this year we've got one started back in February, and we'll be doing the dedication on June the 24th. This goat here, we call it our goat, but this terrain vehicle is being auctioned off. We had a plan of how much we wanted to raise for it. The auction is Wednesday at noon, right? Wednesday at noon. And we've already surpassed the amount of money we thought we were going to raise with the goat. That's going into the monies for the Habitat House. So we raised money both internally with our employees, and Clark made a match. So now we can go out and say that this truly is a Clark house built by Clark people. The Alvarez family that's going to be moving in there is going to be very, very pleased. Page 3. Who used to do that, Scott? They used to read out their page numbers. What was that guy's name? The guy that was on CBS News. Huh? No, Paul Harvey. Now page 3. Yeah, and now for the rest of the story. We are neighbors and good partners to the city and the state. Clark is an active participant in Lexington with our partners of Commerce Lexington, Kentucky Manufacturers Association, Economic Development, World Trade in Kentucky. We spend an awful lot of time with these organizations because it's not important enough for us just to be here, but we want to fully interact with everybody in this community. Clark continues to expand its operations in Lexington, which includes 5 additional acres that in a building across the street that we purchased last October. Our products in North America, its operations in Lexington, our products in North America, this is why I don't like a list, that's why I don't do this, Denise. Our products in North America are distributed through independent distributors that include new forklift sales and our aftermarket parts business out of Louisville, Kentucky. We're so proud to be stewards of this great brand and to have Clark survive not only the good times but the rough times as well. It truly is remarkable that we are here 100 years later. I would like to thank everyone for coming out today. I'd like to thank the mayor again for coming out. And Mayor, the podium is yours. Thank you very much.
I'm going to try what Dennis did. I'm going to say it, wow. Awesome. That is great. You know, I want to start out by going off script a little bit because 100 years, that is just so remarkable. I come from a family business where our own family is really extended far beyond our own family into a family of employee team members. And I look at the smiles on your faces, and I know that that's the spirit. It's the spirit, it's the enthusiasm, it's the commitment that makes this company what it is. It's a company of individuals. It's a company of people working together. And that has an incredible inspiration. And I look out and I see that in the faces of everyone here. So I want you to give yourselves a big hand of applause right now. Thanks, Dennis. Dennis, you know, the international spotlight was sort of shining on our sister city, Louisville, over the weekend. But today, it's shining right here in Lexington, where we are crowding the winner's circle, celebrating an international company and 100 years of continuous operations. As you said, and Dennis did a wonderful job of describing the history, and that's so inspiring. Clark's is always dreaming and has always been dreaming since 1917, when it built the first truck tractor, the forerunner of today's forklift. And today, as you all know, Clark is one of the top 10 lift truck suppliers in the world. Clark builds 6 key models of forklift trucks right here in Lexington. And Clark's headquarters, as Dennis said, as Alan said, have been here for 32 years, since 1985. And speaking on behalf of the city, I want to also recognize and welcome Councilmember Kathy Ploman. Kathy, hold your hand up, who's here from this district. Thank Kathy for being here, because the city, when we're doing it right, we're partners with each and every one of you. This relationship has really been outstanding. Clark, as Dennis has already said it, I'm just sort of doing a ditto mark. Clark is an extraordinary corporate citizen that gives back to our community in so many ways. Even this year by celebrating and building the Habitat House. And we know that just last year, Clark expanded its Lexington operation with 30 good jobs and almost $5 million investment to grow its facilities and moving jobs from Mexico to Lexington. Yeah, there we go. In everything it does, Clark sends a clear message, nationally and internationally, that Lexington is a great place to locate a business and grow it. So as you all celebrate this remarkable 100 years in business, we as a city want to say thank you and congratulations to each and every member of the Clark family throughout the whole wide world. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say one thing. Dennis and I did not talk about the dress code today. This was quite by accident.
We look good.
For the Blue Brothers. Yeah. It's my honor now to welcome all the way from Washington, Mr. Brian Feehan, President of ITA. Brian, welcome.
Thank you very much. You know, one of the things, you should never really follow an elected official when you're speaking from a podium, but you know, that's note to file in the future. But really, we appreciate being down here. I am the president of the Industrial Truck Association in Washington, D.C., and it's an honor for us to be taking part in the centennial presentation in this event today, as well as we'll be here again next week. So the ITA was established in November of 1929, so not quite 100 years old, but close. And one of the founding members of the ITA was this company right here, Clark. So throughout their 100 years, they've been a leader not only within their own industry, our industry, but also they've been a leader within the ITA. And we're very proud and thankful for that leadership that they've had throughout the course of our history. We're also here to recognize and celebrate the achievements of 100 years in business, and that's through leadership. And another leadership role that Clark had taken is they were the first company to introduce seatbelts as standard options on their products. So that, in the realm of safety, Clark has made many advances and continues to be a leader in the industry, and that's one major milestone. To just let that sink in, the first company to introduce seatbelts as standard products. So that's a major achievement. We're also, when it comes to safety, we're very pleased to have National Forklift Safety Day, which was created by the ITA just 4 years ago. Again, one of the first companies at the table to raise their hands to say that they would participate was Clark, raising their hand saying that we'll participate nationally, we'll participate here in Kentucky, and as if you remember, June 13th of this year will be National Forklift Safety Day. So our industry has matured over the years, and I want to share with you a couple of statistics. So in the 100 years that Clark has been in history, over the years, and we just collected some of these statistics for you, globally now we're over 1 million units that are sold worldwide. Our industry contributes $25.7 billion to the GDP every single year, a significant number. We pay over $5.3 billion in taxes on an annual basis, and we sold 230,000 units last year for the first time ever in the history of the industry. We're over 230,000 units. So significant, again, in terms of industry leadership and development and maturity of the market overall. Another thing that's very important, I think, to everybody in this room, but also to our industry, is that we employ over 200,000 people across the United States. For every one job that we have, we create 2.5 additional jobs in the economy. So a very, again, significant impact that the manufacturing economy has, that Clark has, that our industry has on the overall growth of the economy. And just to let you know, let me share with you a couple of statistics just from the state of Kentucky. So we contribute, or the state of Kentucky contributes $499 million on an annual basis to the U.S. GDP. Pretty significant amount of money. They also pay, Clark pays along with the other manufacturers in the state of Kentucky, $36 million a year in state and local taxes. So again, contributing not only in terms of their volunteer, their donations, but also good corporate stewardship and citizens of the state of Kentucky, and employ just over 4,500 people in the state of Kentucky in the material handling business alone. So again, significant and strong supporter of the economy, strong supporter of jobs in the state of Kentucky. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for having me here. Congratulations as we celebrate the 100-year anniversary. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Dennis. This now concludes our press conference, and we'd like to invite any visitors, if you'd like to take a tour of the facility, just wait right here and we'll take a tour of the facility. Thank you all very much for coming, guys. Great year, great month, great event. Well done.